village of San Ignacio, nestled deep within the arid landscape of northern Mexico, legends and folklore were woven into the very fabric of daily life. Among these tales, one in particular struck fear into the hearts of the villagers: the legend of the Chupacabra, a bloodthirsty creature said to prey on livestock and occasionally those who dared to venture too far into the desert at night. Luis Alvarez had recently moved to San Ignacio, seeking a tranquil life away from the chaos of the city. An artist by profession, he found inspiration in the rugged beauty of the desert and the rustic charm of the village. His new home was a quaint, adobe house on the outskirts of the village, close to the edge of the desolate wilderness. The villagers welcomed Luis with warm smiles and cautious curiosity. They warned him about the Chupacabra, but he dismissed their tales as mere superstition. He had always been a skeptic, preferring to believe in what he could see and touch. Luis quickly settled into his new life, spending his days painting and exploring the surrounding landscape. However, he couldn't shake the feeling of unease that crept over him as dusk fell. His neighbors spoke in hushed tones about the recent attacks on livestock, and he often heard strange noises at night, unearthly howls, and the eerie silence that followed. One night, as Luis was finishing a painting in his studio, he heard frantic barking from his dog, Pepe. He rushed outside to find Pepe growling at the darkness, his hackles raised. Luis scanned the area with a flashlight but saw nothing. The unsettling feeling lingered, gnawing at his mind. Several nights later, Luis was awakened by a commotion outside. He grabbed his flashlight and cautiously stepped out into the cool night air. The moon cast a pale glow over his yard, illuminating a horrifying scene. One of his goats lay dead, its body drained of blood, and strange puncture marks on its neck. A chill ran down Luis's spine as he remembered the villagers' warnings. As he examined the carcass, he felt a presence behind him. He turned slowly, and his blood ran cold. Standing at the edge of the yard, partially obscured by shadows, was the Chupacabra. The creature had leathery, grayish skin, spines along its back, and glowing red eyes that bored into his soul. Luis froze, his heart pounding in his chest. The Chupacabra snarled, revealing sharp, blood-stained teeth. Pepe barked furiously, but Luis managed to grab him and retreat into the house, locking the door behind him. He peered through the window, but the creature had vanished into the night. Determined to protect his home and livestock, Luis decided to investigate further. He spoke with the villagers, gathering stories and learning about past encounters with the Chupacabra. An old farmer named Don Miguel seemed to know more than he let on. He claimed to have survived an attack years ago and bore the scars to prove it. Don Miguel told Luis about a hidden cave in the desert, believed to be the lair of the Chupacabra. Legend said that those who entered the cave never returned. Despite the danger, Luis felt compelled to find the cave and uncover the truth. He armed himself with a flashlight, a knife, and a camera, hoping to document his findings. On a moonless night, Luis set out into the desert. The landscape was an endless expanse of sand and rocks, the silence broken only by the occasional call of a distant coyote. After hours of searching, he found the entrance to the cave, a dark, foreboding maw in the side of a rocky hill. Taking a deep breath, Luis stepped inside. The air was cool and damp, and the faint smell of decay lingered. He followed the narrow passageway, his flashlight casting eerie shadows on the walls. Strange symbols were etched into the rock, and bones littered the ground. As he ventured deeper, Luis heard a low growl that echoed through the cave. He rounded a corner and came face to face with the Chupacabra. The creature's eyes glowed with a malevolent intelligence, and it bared its teeth in a sinister grin. Luis raised his camera, snapping a picture just as the Chupacabra lunged. Luis fought desperately, using his knife to fend off the creature. The Chupacabra was strong and agile, its claws slashing through the air. Luis managed to land a few blows, but he knew he couldn't keep it up for long. He needed to escape. In a last-ditch effort, Luis grabbed a handful of sand and threw it at the Chupacabra's eyes, temporarily blinding it. He turned and ran, his heart pounding, the sound of the creature's enraged screeches echoing behind him. He burst out of the cave and into the desert, not stopping until he reached the safety of his home. Luis's encounter with the Chupacabra changed him forever. He shared his story in the photograph with the villagers, who finally believed that the legend was true. They banded together, setting traps and taking precautions to protect their homes and livestock. Though the Chupacabra was never seen again, the fear remained. Luis became a local hero, but he was haunted by nightmares of the creature lurking in the darkness, waiting for the right moment to strike. The desert held its secrets, and some legends were best left undisturbed. In the quiet nights of San Ignacio, the howl of the wind through the desert still sounded like the chilling cry of the Chupacabra, a reminder that the horrors of the past were never truly gone.